Hey, good afternoon, folks. I'm Senior Meteorologist Bill Alexander, and this is the live look from the Matthews CCAC weather cam at Snoopy's Pier on the island, looking across Laguna Madre to the northwest at the JFK Causeway with light traffic right now, a few scattered clouds, and a very nice warm afternoon. Strong southeasterly winds, middle 70s to upper 70s, and the satellite radar image here shows clouds in the distant offshore waters. No consequence right now. We are going to see some patchy fog later on, but what we're looking forward to is next week with an opportunity for a little bit of rain out there. We'll talk about that in a second. Right now you can see how the very sharp delineation of colder air to the north from the Red River Valley into the southern plains and on into the middle Mississippi Valley. To the south of there, very warm, very humid, very much like what we have around here at very unusually warm for this time of the year. We're looking at 70s along the immediate coastline, middle to upper 80s in the inland areas. And overnight tonight, that moisture comes rolling on in again and limits our temperatures to the middle 60s across the board. That'll be associated with some patches of dense fog, but not widespread. It'll just be patchy, and you're going to see that until about your morning drive time. Same thing again for your Sunday morning. It's not going to change much. Now, we do see some warm temperatures as far as feel-like temperatures pushing the 90-degree mark, not only Saturday, but Sunday as well. So that's something to plan for, some pretty warm temperatures for this time of the year. That's supported by that continuous south-southeasterly winds. Been quite breezy, continues to be 10, 20, 22 miles an hour out of the south-southeast, which of course brings in that warm, humid Gulf air. And that will bring our high temperatures again tomorrow, lower to middle 70s along the coastline because of its immediate proximity to the Gulf, and then middle to upper 80s in the inland areas. The dew points really aren't changing. Look what we got right now, mid 60s to lower 70s. Pretty unusual for this time of the year, especially over an extended period of time. And that's what we've been seeing, and that's why this warm, humid scenario continues. In fact, tomorrow, if you're going to the coastal waters, it'll be mostly cloudy. There'll be areas of fog out there. You'll only be in the upper 60s, but look at the water temperature up to 71 degrees. Now, that differential there is going to limit the occurrence of sea fog. If it was that way everywhere, we wouldn't have sea fog, but there are parts of the Gulf that are much colder than that 71 degrees. So south wind 10 to 15 knots, slightly choppy to occasionally choppy bays and 3-foot seas. You're going to have a not low, but low UV index. And now let's go ahead and take a look at your stationary boundary there. It does eventually back up as a warm front. Our second disturbance comes on down and gives us a pretty good cold front in here. Sunday evening, it looks like it may or may not linger very long, but the one that comes after it will. And we're going to see this high pressure as the dominant factor through the weekend. Finally, we start to see these little disturbances coming across, and that brings the first disturbance, brings the first chance of rain here Wednesday and Thursday, and then that all moves on out. So that is the scenario with that ridge breaking down next week to give us this modest chance of rain coming around here. So that's what we're looking at. Not a big rainstorm, but we are turning to more seasonable temperatures as you go into the first part of next week and continuing on through Thursday and Friday.
The Boy Scouts of America organization is in for a big change. Starting next week, it will go by Scouting America to become a more inclusive organization. The rebrand was announced last year as the group welcomes more females into its ranks. The organization has also started to allow gay youth to join the program.
We have seen evolution in our membership and our programs. We welcomed girls into our Cub Scout program at 18, girls into our Scouts PSA program at 19, and now we've grown that they're about 20% of our organization. By the way, still predominantly boys in our program. We do a great job of serving boys. Boys are really, really important to what we do. But we really looked at where we are, who we serve, the families that we serve.
CEO Roger Crone says he knows some people are not happy with the name change, but most of the feedback he's gotten has been positive. The organization has been struggling with membership since the pandemic and in the wake of claims of sexual abuse. The group filed for bankruptcy in 2020 after facing claims